There were tornado warnings through parts of Saskatchewan and Manitoba. They've obviously all since come to an end. But even as we head toward early Monday morning, there's still the risk for a few isolated thunder showers, specifically in southern Manitoba. But the bigger threat is going to be with all of that daytime heating again for Monday afternoon and into the early evening. So from the BC interior through the foothills of Alberta, and then again from southern Manitoba into northwestern Ontario, we have that risk for isolated thunderstorms. But really, it's going to be southern Manitoba, northwestern Ontario, where we have the best chance of maybe a severe cell or two pushing in. Now, that being said, it's quite humid once again in through southern Saskatchewan, a nice day in Alberta, but things do get unsettled in the long-range forecast, and we'll be talking all about that coming up. Speaking of unsettled through the next several days in Atlantic Canada, we could be seeing upwards of 10 to 20 millimeters of rain. It's also going to be very windy on Monday, so we'll break down all of that active weather coming up. But I think temperatures will be the big story the weekend in southern Ontario, because we only have a few summer weekends left, but I mean, temperatures on Sunday were not that great. Most of us were in the low 20s. We should be closer to 26 or 27 degrees at this time of year. But over the last week, southern Ontario and Quebec have been cool. The west has been warm, and we're almost going to flip-flop. So a total change of pace as far as temperatures are concerned. I'll set this map in motion. Reds indicate the warmer air, blues the cooler Arctic air. And you can see a lot of those blues slowly sinking south across the northern prairies. Alberta, Saskatchewan, we have some cooler air ahead, whereas we start to see those reds moving back into Ontario. So let me show you what I mean as far as numbers are concerned. Wednesday, Calgary, a daytime high of 17. By Thursday, 15 degrees and rain. So a cool mid to end week. And then for southern Ontario by Wednesday, feeling like 32 in Toronto. By Thursday, feeling like 32 again. So the humidity is on the rise, feeling like the mid 30s once again, which is where I think many of us want to be for the final stretch of summer. That's a quick look at the long-range forecast as far as temperatures are concerned. Of science behind the weather, we're going to break down the difference between upper-level lows and surface lows. That is going to be having a huge impact on Atlantic Canada, specifically in the long range, but we were also dealing with an upper-level low across the prairies this weekend, and that was bringing some pretty unstable weather. Now, an upper-level low is kind of how it sounds. It's in the upper atmosphere. It has a lot of cooler air, and it's typically a lot harder to forecast because we have less tools to actually forecast what's happening in the upper atmosphere. We have weather balloons, and that's about it. So typically with an upper level low, like you can see here, still for Monday morning in the Maritimes, we often see rain showers, but they're a lot more scattered. It's not going to be a persistent heavy rain event. They also tend to form to the north and west of a surface low, and you'll see that as we head through the day Monday, a surface low develops to the south and to the east, so it works in this case. And often when we have two low pressure systems in the area, it's called a double barrel low, and we are going to see some pretty significant rains over the coming days. But with a surface low, obviously they're easier to forecast. We have more tools, and they often bring a more persistent widespread rain. So things are going to get worse as we head through Monday evening for Atlantic Canada. The rains will become more widespread and a lot steadier. And we'll have more details coming up right now on how this will really impact Atlantic Canada in this long ranger. So as we take a look at the eastern half of the country, don't worry about southern Ontario over the next few days. Tuesday night through Wednesday, we have more rain in the forecast. But let's focus on Atlantic Canada for a moment. Steady rain showers through parts of the Maritimes and Newfoundland. And even behind that low pressure system, scattered showers for the Maritimes as well, really drying out by midweek. But for Newfoundland, it will linger through Wednesday and even early into Thursday. Taking a look at a few 7-day forecasts, unfortunately for St. John's, that's rain showers right across the board into next weekend. Halifax as well. Monday rain showers, but most of that rain will push east of Halifax as we head through the week, so not looking too bad. And for Toronto, I wanted to mention rain showers for Wednesday, possibly lingering into Thursday morning, but humidity will be on the rise again by midweek, so you can say goodbye to those temperatures around 18 or 19 degrees. And then across the west, we're actually quite unsettled as well. We're looking at day after day of rain showers across the prairies, and we'll talk more about that coming up because it also has a lot to do with your temperatures cooling in Alberta in particular. Those weather stories are coming up in our next segment. 21 degrees in the city of Toronto. Most of us in southern Ontario hit about 20, 21 degrees. We should be closer to 26 or 27 degrees at this time of year. Now, luckily, high pressure is still in place. Monday will bring us a little bit more sunshine. Temperatures will be comparable to what we saw on Sunday, and eventually Tuesday night through Wednesday, we have rain showers moving in. Before we break down the details, Kasia has this report. Did you see Kesha's hand on that goat? It was like, I'm taking this goat home with me. I'm going to ask her about that. As I mentioned, temperatures remain on the cooler side, but by Wednesday, rain showers make their way into the GTA. We'll talk about that coming up. It's just 2 weeks away. My birthday's September 7th, so I always got really excited for the start of school. It generally worked out to often be the exact same day as the first day of school. But take a look at your Monday forecast. If you happen to be heading to the CNE or to the X, we are looking at a mix of sun and clouds. Temperatures in Toronto around 21 degrees, feeling like the mid-20s when you factor in the humidity, closer to about 24. And it's very typical to what we saw on Sunday. We might actually see a little bit more sunshine for Monday compared to Sunday. And then even more sunshine for Tuesday, but by Tuesday night and more so Wednesday, we have a new system moving in. So let me show you what I mean. High pressure for the next couple of days. There's a system to our north bringing heavy amounts of rain eventually to the Nickel Belt by Tuesday. And then it moves in for Wednesday, may linger into Thursday morning and into the early afternoon. And then we look to clear out as we head into next weekend. So the other good news I can give you is that humidity is on the rise, and we'll talk more about that coming up. Also coming up, I love fall. I don't love seeing the leaves changing color this early. More signs of fall coming up in our next segment. What's interesting about those top 5 hurricanes, they all came after mid-August. We're really approaching the busy time of year for the Atlantic hurricane season. When I think of hurricanes, I think of heading toward fall, and that's what I think of when I see these daylight hours. We are losing daylight right across the country. We will take a look at other signs of fall coming up throughout the program. Do not go anywhere.
Visit our new and improved